This week's patron topic is brought to you by Mika, but next time it could be your topic for like $5.
Good day for a swell battle. Now go!
Only for sweet, sweet cold hard cash would I tackle the most controversial topic in gaming. Should video games have challenge, or is that offensive? I feel bad that Cuphead has become so embroiled in this kerfuffle, but that's a risk you take when you make a game that games journalists can't play. Anyways, do you want to take a guess what would happen if, in a theoretical alternate universe where Cuphead's current difficulty was instead relegated to a hard mode, with a normal and easy difficulty being offered as well? Here's my bold claim. The game would be heavily criticized for being too short. Animation is expensive to make, and nearly any game that's expensive to make will be hit by this exact criticism. Now, here's the thing. Not every game has to be hard, just as much as it doesn't need to be easy. In many cases, implementing an easy mode is pretty simple. With what little programming experience I have, I'm fairly certain I can make it so that you can take 10 hits in Cuphead instead of the usual 3. Crafting a higher difficulty is usually a bit more delicate of a process, assuming you want to do a good job. But I'm veering from the course at this point. There have been a bunch of pseudo-intellectuals going around talking about how games have evolved to the point where they don't need to be challenging anymore. Well, that's not fair to some people who won't get to experience the entire game. It seems like some people don't really understand the value of a challenge. To me at least, it feels a bit childish, being so averse to the idea of having to earn something. But let me put it this way. Video games are an incredibly interesting form of media. They exist somewhere between a sport and a film, and cover a wide spectrum as a result. There are games of pure skill, and games so uninteractive that people are uncertain if they even qualify as games. The majority, however, occupy a space in between. A narrative doesn't require a challenge, while a sport doesn't really need to tell a story. Because of the unique space that video games occupy, these two things can work to supplement each other. Challenge becomes an incredibly versatile influence. When you fight someone that's difficult to beat, they become all the more satisfying to put down. A choice can have consequences in a video game. Or, in the case of something like Cuphead, there's no substance without the challenge. The game is a boss rush with some tacked-on platforming challenges. The difficulty is what forces you to appreciate the lavish Golden Age animation as you observe the action for cues on how to avoid getting walloped. I've seen people complain about how they don't get to appreciate the aesthetic because of the difficulty, but the reality is that's something completely divorced from the gameplay. Luckily, I've prepared a solution. Within this very video, I've embedded a secret technique that allows the viewer to see the game's animation whenever you want without having to play the game. And that's just that. If you don't like how the game plays, what are you gaining by playing it? If you are physically unable to play the game for whatever reason, what do you get by playing a stripped down version of it? There's a whole lot of variety to go around in the games industry. I guarantee you can find a game that's more your style.